Oh, well, hello there. I was just catching up on some reading there. You know, from the safety of land, it's very easy to romanticize the ocean. Its colors of blue and green and its surface rising and falling hypnotically. But those mesmerizing qualities, well, they can belie the ocean's perilous nature. With every storm that rolls in, death can rear its ugly head, confronting you with a fate just too terrifying to imagine. Perhaps that's why the ocean is at the heart of countless legends. And that is what our tale is about this evening. So grab those covers and pull them a little closer to your chin, because this, my friend, is a thriller. Hey guys, hey, welcome to Mondays with Marc. Okay, on a Tuesday again. Yes, it happened again. Oh my gosh. And this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Welcome back. It's nice to see you. It really is on this Tuesday. Yeah, we had the same problem that we've been having. However, I'm very happy to announce that it will all be fixed tomorrow. Xfinity is providing us with a remote patch of some sort. I don't know. We already know that it's not the wires inside the house, and it's not a router or anything like that. And when they do this patch, I think it's like an upgrade or something, like how your phone, upgrades every once in a while. I think it's something like that. But it'll all be fixed tomorrow. So I'm coming to you on a Tuesday again. But hey, is what it is, right? So how are you doing? How was your weekend? Y'all, this is Halloween week. Oh, yes. And tonight on Mondays with Marc, oh gosh, we have a theme that I really, really do love. Tonight, it's all about the deep, dark, spooky sea. Ooh. I love that graphic. I do. God, I'm losing my mind. Anyway. Yes, it is. And we have a recipe to do. We have a little project to do. We have some, ghost ship stories and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we really should get right to it. But I did want to get caught up with you for just a little bit. Steve just got home a little late. By the way, I had this all done yesterday, and I refilmed this tonight, so we're in real time Tuesday. He was at a retreat today, and it was the Northeast Region Recovery Choice Wellness and Retreat. And look, you got a mug with some candy in it there. But you know what's really awesome? He made me a candle. Check it out. Look at this. It was they had an activity in the afternoon, and everybody who attended this retreat made a homemade soy candle. The company's name is Wicked. They have you can make your own candles there, and Steve had wax. He mixed up the scent. It smells so... I'm going to give it to you so you can smell it. Oh my gosh. It smells so good. It really, really does. And he calls it earthy something. But I was so glad to show you, because he doesn't usually do stuff like that. Oh yeah. So this, you may remember, we talked about this here. I thought this was a mosquito. This was not a mosquito bite. This and this right here, these were not mosquito bites. They were not. This has to be a spider bite or something, because it's been almost 3 weeks now, and it is still, it doesn't hurt, it doesn't itch, nothing like that. But it's still there, Mosquito bites, they go away in a couple days, if not the next day sometimes, And I've been putting sting stuff on it and stuff, but I'm thinking it had to be a spider bite or a different type of bug, because this 3 weeks, it's just so annoying, right? But, I guess it fits into the season, right? Spookiness, bugs, and the deep, dark, spooky sea. I love the ocean. And but I also have a healthy fear for it as well, especially at nighttime. Once the sun goes down, I'll tell you, I'm It's very, very creepy to me, very spooky to me. I love ghost stories and stories about like ghost ships and sunken ships, you know, like ship graveyards. I love stuff like that. Sea monsters, all of that. So that kind of is what like prompted tonight's video. So let's get on to our first little project. What should we do? You want to cook something? You know what? Why don't we go over into the craft room and make something, okay? Now, this is actually a last-minute costume for Halloween. This is one of the costumes that I kind of anticipate that people will like the most or find the most interesting and unique and like it the most and may want to know how to make it. So I thought for like a last-minute costume idea, we would make, oh yes, an aquarium costume for Halloween. So yes, we are going to be making an aquarium costume for Halloween, or well, for any occasion you might want to dress up as an aquarium, right? And you know what? This was so much fun to make. I think if you decide to do something like this, you're really going to enjoy doing it, all right? So I got us jump started with everything. So, well, let's get started then. The first thing we will need is a box, and I think a rectangular box, rather large, probably would work best. That is, unless you're making this for a child. You'd want a smaller one then, you know, size appropriate. But I do think a rectangular one looks a little better than a square one, okay? And then I just taped her all up so she was nice and secure, you know, like a box. And then, since this is an aquarium, we're gonna have to cut out windows so we can see inside. So I drew a template on my box, and what I did was I just measured in 2 inches all the way around the front and both sides. And then I used a Sharpie marker and drew that template on there. That gave me something to, you know, to kind of go by when I was cutting. And then just using a straight edge and an X-Acto knife or a box cutter, we cut those pieces out to make our windows for our aquarium. And the next thing I did was paint her black. There she is. There's our holes. And I did paint her black, and not the whole thing. I just, you know, did the parts that are seen, like the fronts, the sides, and then I did get some of the insides there, where the kind of the border is, you know. So, okay, now this costume is going to be sitting on our head. So the next thing we have to do is flip her upside down and cut a hole out in the center so our head can fit through. And for that, well, I guess we're going to have to measure our head, really. Okay. Wait, no, I wouldn't do it like that. Something like... Oh, nope, not like that. I probably maybe I did it like that, maybe? And oh, this is pretty awful. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I was 24 inches around, you know, like all the way around my head. So I just measured from the inside center of the bottom of our box, and I measured out, it would be 8 inches, you know, like 8 inches, and then made a circle there, you know. So now we're just going to cut that out with our X-Acto knife, or even a box cutter will work. Oh, I have a box cutter ready to go. Moment of truth. Ah, perfect. She fits. Okay. So what we're going to do now is kind of give her a finished look, and we're going to be covering up some of the box. We're going to be covering the outside top, the inside bottom, and the inside back. And for that, we're just going to use poster board cut to size. Now the outside top, just a plain piece of black poster board, and we're just going to tack that on there with our hot glue gun, just like that, just to give her a nice little finished top there. Woo. We're done. Where are you? Okay. All right, we are covered. And now we're going to do the inside bottom. Oh, and for that, I knew that I wanted to have, sand of some sort. So check this out. Ew, this is going to be our bottom to our aquarium. So simple. Took a black piece of poster board, cut it to size, and then just using some this is spray glue, just using some spray glue on it. I spray glued it, and then I just sprinkled colored sand all over it. And that was it. Nothing else. It was that quick. Oh, I did give it a coat of some acrylic spray, just one little one, just so we wouldn't have all the sand falling off. So some will still fall off, but not as much, And then we are just going to take it inside of our aquarium and put it on the bottom. But, oh my God, that hole in there. Yep, we do. So we definitely need a hole in our bottom piece here. So I measured out, I just placed this underneath the box, traced it, and now I'm just going to cut it out with an X-Acto knife. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so now we have that done, and we have our top done. Let's do the back. Now this will be the back of our aquarium, and of course the middle will be hidden by our head. So for that, I got a piece of blue poster board cut to size, and then just using colored paper, whatever colors you want, I just cut out these little, what are they called? Little sea vegetation, we'll call it there. And then get out, I just glued it to the background just like that. And that's it. That's all that's going to be our background, okay? So now we're just going to hot glue this in to the back of our aquarium. Oh, okay, we got our back in. And the last thing to do is the top. So we're going to flip her upside down and put our top in. Now for that, I have a black piece cut to size. I'll pack this out. So I found these at the Dollar Tree. And they're just different little fishies and things like that. And I attached filament wire or fishing line to them. Like that. Whoops, look, I just pulled it right off. Here, I'll show you this one. There we go. And we're just going to hang them. I'm just going to actually use tape and tape it to the top just on either side of where my head would be. Remember, our head's going to be in there, so we can't want to have anything in our front of our face, And I'm going to tape that to the top, and then using hot glue, we are just going to attach her right to the ceiling of our aquarium. There's our top. He's all in there. And this does not have to be perfect. All this is going to be covered up in our next step. And that is to decorate. Oh, yeah. So for that, I have more of our little vegetation that we cut out ourselves. I found some of this iridescent, this kind of stuff there for wrapping gifts. I have some aquarium vegetation there, plastic, real stuff, and some vines. And of course, we have more of these from the Dollar Tree. Whatever you want to put on there, let's just do it and have fun. Oh, I can't wait to show you when it's done. I have no idea how it's going to turn out yet. I know. Ooh, I like that there. Where am I going to put that at? I don't know. He's going to have to go maybe right there. Oh, maybe hanging down. No, I know. Okay, let's do that. I have one of these. I'll hang down here. Oh, all right. I still have my two fishy. Told you this is the fun part for real. And the last thing. Oh, check her out. Oh my gosh, there's a lot going on in there, huh? Wait till my head's in there. Oh wow, I love how it turned out. Oh, it looks pretty cool. Oh, all right. So you know how aquariums usually light up, right? Of course, we have to have ours light up. I happen to have these strip lights here. You just touch them and they come on. And I think it looks like an aquarium light, kind of, So I'm going to put mine just with hot glue. I'm going to put it right up here, and let's see. On. Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah. Look. Oh, I think that's going to be just perfect. Ooh, nice. And like I said, we're just going to attach that with some hot glue, or even use tape. You're not going to be able to really see up in there, because this part here blocks it. So, but I'll get a picture. There you have it. Our aquarium costume for Halloween. Well, okay, so now we're gonna go head over into the kitchen and whip up, something so comforting. You are going to love it. But before that, no talk of a deep, dark, spooky sea would be complete without some eerie tales from the sea. And these are three of my favorites. Ah, the sea. It evokes feelings of pleasure and relaxation, but the sea can also be mysterious and downright terrifying. From a monster that unnerves a ship's hardened crew to a luxury liner that simply disappears, here's three spooky tales from the deep blue sea. One of the most famous ghost ship tales around is that of the Mary Celeste, who in 1872 set course from New York City to Genoa, Italy, carrying 7 crew members, the captain, his wife, and their 2-year-old daughter. Now, 1 month later, a British ship spotted the brig, which should have already reached its destination, drifting in the North Atlantic, hundreds of kilometers from land. When its crew members boarded the Mary Celeste, they found weeks' worth of food, shoes, clothes, and other personal belongings, even an unfinished breakfast still sitting on the dining room table, covered in mold. To the British seamen investigating the Mary Celeste, it was as if those on board had single-mindedly abandoned ship. Yet, despite some seawater sloshing in its hold, the brig was deemed seaworthy. So, what happened? Where did they all go? To this day, no one can say for sure. The crew, the captain, and his family were never seen again. The tale of the Mary Celeste continues to obsess ghost ship fanatics everywhere. Another famous vanishing, although not as famous as the Mary Celeste, took place 3 years before the RMS Titanic sank. Another behemoth sailed the ocean in opulent splendor, only to meet a mysterious fate. In 1909, the 142-meter SS Waratah carried 200 people on its route from Australia to England. Outfitted with 100 first-class cabins, the ship carried enough food for a year and endless drinking water thanks to its desalination plant. But unlike the Titanic, it was not equipped with a radio, which still was pretty much an unused technology at that time aboard ships. Now, this ship did make the first part of its journey, reaching Durban. Now, between Durban and Cape Town, South Africa, Waratah disappeared. And with no radio on board, there was no indication as to where the ship had gone. Now, the sea off the coast of South Africa is known to be treacherous. Could a tempest have capsized the steamer? Yet, in the over 100 years since the Waratah vanished, numerous search teams have only found the wreckages of other ships. So why has this relatively young shipwreck continued to evade discovery? Many a sailor has recounted tales of monsters from the sea. Perhaps with whiskey in hand, one might recall the time when a kraken, a giant squid-like creature from Nordic legend that's now actually known to be based in reality, nearly capsized his ship. Or he tells a yarn of a cryptozoological creature with unworldly dimensions. One particular legend of such a creature comes from 1848, when men aboard the Royal Navy's HMS Daedalus encountered a Nessie-like leviathan in the South Atlantic. It was an enormous serpent, Captain Peter O'Couher noted in a report. Now, this account, as well as others aboard the Daedalus, spurred a media fury, and in subsequent years, many reported seeing this serpentine beast, as well as others like it. And, well, to this day, there's too many to count. Sea monsters have certainly made their way into pop culture through movies, art, and books. I mean, people seem to have an affinity for these creatures. So, is there any truth to these giant sea creatures from the deep? I suppose we'll have to wait and see. Perhaps time will tell. Ooh, sea monsters, crazy storms, ghost ships. Ooh, I love it, love it, love it. And our recipe tonight fits right in with that. Yo, we're going to make a shipwreck casserole. Now, you may have had this as a kid. After all, this is a vintage recipe. Like, I think it's over 80 years old, and it's definitely due for a comeback. And there's many different variations of it too. You may have heard of some of it that have like maybe mixed vegetables in it or rice in it, and others even have macaroni and cheese in it. Now, we're staying pretty traditional with our recipe here, but with a little twist, as you'll see with our ingredients. And those ingredients are, right here we have a half a pound of fresh shrimp there. If you use the frozen shrimp, make sure they're all thawed out and they're deveined and cleaned, and I even took some of the tails off of them too. Alright, now back here we have 2.5 cups of shredded hash brown potatoes, and if you decide to use the frozen stuff, make sure they're also thawed out as well. Then we have 2 cups of your favorite cheddar cheese, 1 can of diced tomatoes. You could use fire roasted or just the regular, and that would be about 14 ounces. 1/4 cup of sour cream, 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, homemade or panko, totally up to you. And as far as the variations go, some of the recipes actually used crushed cornflakes too. And that is 1 tablespoon of butter. As far as our seasonings, pretty simple. We have 2 teaspoons of seasoned salt, 1 teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And I got us started here in a saute pan here. We have 1 pound of lean ground beef, along with 1 cup each of chopped onion and chopped carrot. And we just cooked that down until the meat is all nice and brown, and our vegetables are cooked through and soft. And now we add our shrimp, y'all. Add that all in there, along with our seasonings. And then we're just going to give this a stir, and just stir it occasionally, and let that cook for another 2 to 3 minutes until our shrimp is just about cooked through. Yum, yum, yum. My goodness, it's kind of like a 4-man surf and turf here. Ground beef and shrimp. Although, can't really say 4-man anymore. Everything's so expensive these days. Okay, so we are good here. All right. Now, at this point, you can take a look and see at the bottom there if maybe your ground beef wasn't lean enough. If you need it drained, this is the time you would do it, okay? Now, to this, we're going to add our tomato paste. Oh, yes. And our diced tomatoes. And I don't know if I said that before, but we did not drain those, okay? And then we're going to give this a stir and let it come up to temperature until it reaches like a boil, and that'll take about 2 minutes. We are looking good here, looking good. Okay, and that's it for this step. We're going to remove this from the heat and set her aside. And now we are going to take our shredded hash brown potatoes, and we're going to put that in a large bowl there, and to that we're going to add about 1 cup, half of our cheddar cheese in there. That's about good, yeah. And our sour cream. I like that. And then to that, we're just going to add a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. Okay, and we're just going to combine this all up, y'all. I tell you what, this is like the ultimate comfort food. I'm sure this is going to be making a huge comeback. I don't know, some recipes people forget about. It's funny, but this is a good one. I remember my grandma making this for me as a kid, and I used to love it. Sometimes she would put scallops in it too, and that was always a nice treat. And I'll tell you what, the sour cream add to the potatoes, really, just add something to it. It really does. Alrighty, and lastly, we're going to take our breadcrumbs and we're going to melt that tablespoon of butter and we're going to drizzle that on there and mix that all up together. This is going to go on top of our casserole. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right, so now we assemble. Okay, using your favorite baking dish. Oh yeah, 2-quart or larger. I'm using this is close to a 9x13. I'm going to use this one here. And we sprayed it with non-stick cooking spray. And we're going to start with our hash browns. Oh yes, we're going to put that as our bottom layer. Oh yeah, followed with our ground beef and shrimp mixture. Ooh. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, and then followed with our remaining 1 cup of shredded cheese and our breadcrumbs. Oh, yes. Oh. And now we bake in a 375-degree oven until it's nice and bubbly and golden brown, 25 to 30 minutes. Oh, it smells so good. You knew I was going to say that, right? You knew it. Oh, wow. I cannot wait. All right, so now we're going to want to just let this rest just for a little bit. Let it cool down a little bit before we scoop her up and serve her. But there you have it, our Shipwreck casserole. Yeah! What is so mesmerizing about an aquarium? Oh, just looking at the aquarium. Yeah, pretty cool costume, huh? I thought it was pretty neat. It's another one of those ones that I was like, I had it in my head and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to turn out or how hard it was going to be to make it. But you can make this in an evening. Like, even less. I mean, I think, and I was rushing for the video, but gosh, you could have it done in an hour. Now that would depend on what type of paint you use too. It has to dry, but I don't know. It's pretty cool there. And how about that Shipwreck casserole? Now that I did make yesterday, and we had it for dinner last night. It's really delicious, and with so many different variations there, you can just swap out vegetables, and you could add rice to it if you'd like. There's so many different recipes for it. So I really hope that I hope you enjoyed our recipe, and I hope you enjoyed our little project for today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. It does mean the world to me. Definitely hit that subscribe button, okay, and the notification bell so you know when we have a new video coming out. Check us out over on our social medias: Facebook, X, Instagram. Oh yes, and all of our contact information is right down below. Our email address, our post office box. If you have any questions on the projects or the recipes, shoot me an email, okay? And I'll get back to you. Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you again. I hope you had a nice time tonight. Maybe you got a little spooky, maybe not. I had a great time. So I will see you next time. Have a great rest of the week and stay spooky. Goodness. I'm gonna get this. Okay.